Hi folks, you're with Tacitus Today at your Pushback channel. While you're with us, and if you like our work, please take a moment to subscribe below. It is important to us, and we look forward to receiving your comments as well. Is the entire legal profession in the Western world in the process of being taken over by SJW activists? We run a risk today in the West that the law students coming out of college for some years now are no longer fearless, independent legal practitioners, but are trained to be just one more screeching arm of the globalist SJW activist brigade. Is it changing the practice of law in ways we cannot measure with effects we cannot usefully foresee? Shout the word Nazi or racist and these manufactured SJWs march like mindless zombies to gather in support of mobs, assaulting and screaming obscenities at those who may disagree with them. What might be the implications of such developments as these? How can it be countered? And what damage has already been done to Western jurisprudence generally and the trust lost in one of the West's key foundational institutions, our legal system? In this essay, we will ask, is this a looming mass miscarriage of justice, the likes of which we have never seen before? Is it just a storm in a teacup and we should pay it no mind? Is it something we can easily pull back from as it approaches the precipice of the abyss? In many cases, what was once a college law course with some art subjects thrown in is now a low IQ sociology no one fails degree with some basic law studies thrown in. Yet these lots of sociology, little bit of law degrees are handed out plentifully and are enough to get admitted to the bar in a significant number of jurisdictions. That is, these students are being admitted for their activist politics and simple-minded acceptance of slogan justice, and not their detailed knowledge of the law and the role of law in a functioning commonweal civis. The granting of such low IQ degrees and then admittance to the bar has enabled and legitimised an entire activist class, which is already more than numerous and multiplying every year. They are available in large numbers to bail out Antifa lawbreakers, to get them out of prison, to assist illegal aliens escape prosecution, and to assist them enter the country illegally. And they're also there to threaten those they don't like and opinions they don't like with vexatious litigation. In aggregation, this appears to be no small or trivial matter. However, they're not really being trained to be lawyers, but rather a brain-dead, Marxist, slogan-conditioned activist foot soldiers. Talking to some of these newly minted lawyer students, they assert and blindly accept injustice, racism, bigotry, oppression, patriarchy, homophobia, transphobia, misogyny, Islamophobia, xenophobia is everywhere in the West, and, they assert, it has never been worse than it is today. And fascists, and for this read white heterosexual males with jobs, are hiding under every bed and hiding behind every corner. It is a world of unspeakable evil everywhere, they say. All the time, and these vendors of virtue, like superheroes from the pages of a kid's comic, are righteously rushing to the rescue. They actually see themselves as revolutionaries fighting back against a counter-revolution. This is almost word for word straight out of the copybook of the murderous Stalinist regime. Always denounce those who disagree with you as being counter-revolutionaries, then remove them. In conversation, these SJW lawyers passionately and obediently and blindly disgorge one leftist talking point after another. The big issues are the feminist wage gap, transgender bathrooms, open borders, fascism, white supremacy, racism, etc., etc., etc. Fantastic stories about racism are feverishly recited in middle high school speak. Did you hear the one about the black guy who didn't do nothing and got 3 life sentences, and that goddamn white Nazi, racist, bigot, fascist who murdered hundreds of black folks and just got a few hours of community service? Can you give me the name of that case? Can any one of you give the name of that case? Oh, no one seems to know. Well, have you verified the facts? Like, you guys are supposed to be lawyers. There's no need to verify facts. We feel that it's true. And if you question or doubt it, then you must be a Nazi, maybe even Hitler. They've been told, and they fully believe, that women only got to vote 20 or so years ago, whereas all men have had to vote forever, since before time, they say. Tell them that universal male franchise is barely 100 years old and women gained the franchise within 10 years of men. They shake their heads, say, no, that's not true. Women are an oppressed class. Men could sell their wives in America as slaves until the 1970s. And don't tell me that's not true, because I know it is, asserts one. Another one has Martin Luther King was a slave who ran away from the cotton fields to free the other slaves. Karl Marx was a friend of Bill Clinton and had tea with him in the White House. Yeah, these law kids really are that dumb. They know nothing of history and nothing of legal history, and what's more, they don't care. The law they are taught today is evil and oppressive, but they are going to make it good. If the law was good, all social outcomes would be equal. So how is it all social outcomes are not equal? Answer that, you damn Nazi, fascist, bigot, white supremacist. They've been told by their lecturers, and they don't question it, that the law and the entire socio-legal system in the West today has no legitimacy. It is a white Nazi fascist system of oppression that must be violently opposed. Only people of great social virtue will oppose it. So omnipresent are these fascists that any illegality, any perjury, any forgery, any lie, any demonstration is acceptable in combating it. Already the first tranches of these sociology lawyer activists are being appointed to positions as prosecutors, district attorneys, jurists, both senior and junior, and attorneys general in state and regional governments. In activist political jurisdictions, such appointees are actively sought out and preferred over fully credentialed, impartial and apolitical candidates. Consider the Duke Lacrosse case as an example. Now, is this something we really want? Is it tantamount to a premeditated weakening and undermining of Western jurisprudence that, as it plays out, will ultimately disenfranchise all citizens while serving only to empower the globalist agenda? The second part of this two-part essay will provide a historical perspective as to how modern-day jurisprudence came to be and how the lessons learned over more than 2,000 years of human legal experience is being recklessly cast aside. You've been with Tacitus Today, and thank you for listening.